Whoever loses is terrible, and whoever wins is marginally less terrible for winning in North America. That's going to be the majority of the comment.
That is true. I mean, are they wrong? Blitz, are they wrong?
Yeah, winning is winning. If EG wins, this is incredibly impressive. They're going to beat a major qualified team in Quincy Crew, who
With
have
two
a lot of
stand-ins.
good players, with 2 stand-ins and a lot of ping on their side. And for Quincy Crew, this is maybe the beginning of a huge turnaround. I haven't seen a reverse sweep in quite some time. Maybe we'll just see it right now as
Arrow goes out, lands onto UR. Bulba will get some decent damage in.
Oh no, he's just giving him freebies.
Yeah, now
Don't
he's
do
up to
that.
7 retaliate stacks. That is what Bulba wants.
He wants those stacks, guys. Don't do it to him.
You guys
It's
keep
part
on
of the
giving him
plan.
Centaur. This whole plan has been for you to go on Bulba.
It's like when, remember when Heen got AA every game during Dream League? That's the same thing. But here at ESL, it's the Bulba Centaur. You know, who's your MVP? Bulba Centaur.
Who would be your MVP so far?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
It's a little hard to tell, right? We've had some off games for a lot of people.
Yeah, if they reverse sweep, who knows? You know, I don't know who's overperforming right now because Quincy Crew right now is currently underperforming. I guess the easy answer for the time being would be like Crit or Arteezy, but we'll see. Whoever wins this Game 5 and has a fantastic performance could sort of determine things for me anyways.
This is a fun lane to be in. Bristleback versus Ursa. One of the few offlaners that you can keep your distance to Ursa, and you can actually be the one to force him back. You build up like 2 or 3 stacks, then you can keep going in. Ursa naturally has to back away. MSS brought a ton of mangoes to make sure he can keep doing that consistently. Not a whole lot of lanes are going to be able to take down Oracle Ursa. But it looks like they have figured that out, and I'm happy for Quincy Crew that they figured that out because I was a little bit scared that they were just going to give the Bulba Centaur and the Arteezy Ursa a free game.
Oh, look at this. They actually leveled stun. And I think you sort of have to. If SVG's playing Grimstroke, you're really leaving him out to dry. Yeah, if you don't do that.
You got to go for it. You can't just sit there, AFK farm. The only way you would not do that is if, like, Grimstroke went top and they tri-lane for some reason. That sounds terrible. Because neither one of these supports want to tri-lane. Mid lane, Quinn's doing a pretty good job getting CS, but he's taking a lot of harassment for it. He's 10-5 right now compared to the 5-1 of Roya. Roya just focusing on trying to burn through Quinn's regen as fast as possible. Because he is at a bit of a damage difference between him and the opposing mid laner. Great Fire Blast, just Stroke of Fate, just some love taps on a Bulba, nothing serious. They're not really trying to make a full go on him, just trying to get him low enough that they can kill him next go around. But he did just pick up his Ring of Terras, so he is going to be significantly tankier, and now he's going to be regenning up a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for them to get any sort of meaningful harass out on him anymore. Another hit flies in, and they're doing some pretty good harass. I think you want to stick in this position, and he does have one queued up.
Yeah. He's queuing that up, maybe some extra regen. And once he gets that, he'll be good to go in lane. But, you know, at the same time, top lane's going fine for the offlaner there as well. Bristleback has a Soul Ring as well as 2 mangoes left. He's got level 2 quills.
If you spam out hard enough, I actually think it's sort of hard for the Ursa to kill you.
Oh, for sure.
And you just run away from the back. It's the same thing as we were talking about with the Timbersaw matchup, where if you get enough stacks built up, it's not the worst thing. And in fact, he's getting out harassed.
I think level 4 they can actually kill Arteezy if they can push Fly away somehow. The problem is they can't really go for goose stacks while Fly can just purge him off with Fortune's End. Oh, mid lane gets a little bit close, but Quinn actually gets his Haste Rune denied. Roya got close enough to it to be able to attack the Haste Rune that was on the ground, so Quinn is left with an empty bottle. a tad unfortunate, but at the same time, Quincy Crew is looking pretty good in the CS department, mostly due to that mid
this
lane.
top lane, too.
Yeah. You could see every single time Arteezy kind of wants to man up, he takes so much quill damage, eventually he has to back down. If anybody's curious, you can dispel the goo, but you cannot dispel these stacks. Oh, SVG. Whoa, Yawar, did you see that? He spawned skeletons, and a skeleton jumped out in front of that arrow.
The boys.
The boys protected the man. In SVG,
VIPs.
back over to the top lane. Byver's going to be the target of some aggression here,
yes,
and MSS won't be able to help him out here. Said he kills the courier and gets Fly a little bit low. Maybe he's going to stick onto Arteezy here.
Pretty low here.
Yeah, he's got 4 different stacks here. They're going to try and separate Fly with the Fortunes and MSS.
He doesn't want any more stacks.
He's not in range anymore. He's going to be able to get a 3rd stack up, but most of the fear is gone from Arteezy. He actually went for a 2nd level and bristled back. Fully committing to just being able to sit in lane and win through out harassing and out CSing. Not a bad idea. It certainly seems to be working. 25-8 compared to the 22-2 of the Ursa. It's just the kill that's making the difference in the net worth.
And all 3 CS charts in favor for all the Quincy Crew cores right now. And this might even be a kill on Bulba.
They might be able to get him, but Bulba, the stun lasts just long enough for you to be able to get out of that Inkswell stun.
Bulba's bulletproof, man.
They're going to have to coordinate that a little bit better next time. See if they can Inkswell slightly before they go for the Wraith Fire Blast.
And let's see if this last pick Invoker has a little bit more impact this time around. I think the Void Spirit is fine against it, matchup-wise. I'm not sure if you ever die or anything like that, but I think Ryoya will at least get a little bit of farm, and then I think they anticipate him roaming around the map, and that's exactly what he does. He has his urn. He wants to try to pick up a kill here. He's not too fussy about who it goes on either, Cap. He just wants charges.
Yeah, charges mean everything, and unfortunately for him, there's a melee creep that is hitting the hard camp top lane. Oh, Quinn actually managed to get the kill on Fly, and it looks like they're going to be able to chase down Arteezy underneath the tower. He is 100% definitely dead. As Yawar shows up after that attempted gank from the Invoker. They're just going to look to trade towers here, but much to the favor of Quincy Crew.
Yeah, and they all got out.
Yeah.
They have a ward down there. Really nice ward. That lane ward spotted Ryoya coming in, and I think they anticipated that move.
So the first rotation from Ryoya fails, and he was already down in CS as well. He needed a kill to kind of bring things back, especially after it was the Ryoya last pick Invoker in the first series, right?
Yes.
That did not go well
against
whatsoever.
the Shadow Fiend. Oh my god, he got... there are words that I can't say because I'm on an ESL broadcast, but he got crushed.
It wasn't pretty. Several times I had to avert my eyes. Got a weak stomach. 2-1, 8 minutes in. Quinn's cutting creep waves behind the tower, so his creep wave can do as much damage to the mid tower. Yawar. Oh, he's getting a little bit low, and he doesn't actually have his level 6. Arteezy gets the kill. They did not expect somebody to show up in that top lane. Quinn, nice dodge with the dissimilate. He's actually going to go for the kill on a Fly. He already killed him once. He's going to try a second time, but crit. It's all a bait, but Quinn sees it coming. He managed to definitely dodge that arrow. Nice stroke of fate is able to finish him off, and now with an extra bit of haste rune, Quinn's going to think about a secondary kill here, but he no longer has charges, so...
And no tornado means that no follow-up there. As MSS
he goes back in. Look at this. Quinn. He's going to be able to... Oh, the arrow actually lands, but not before he managed to get off the Aether Remnant. That extra bit of disable is going to be enough to get the kill onto Ryoya. Now the dissimilate. He gets away from Bulba, who pump fakes the stun a couple of times. Instead of going for the Void Spirit, he wasn't able to get that kill. Instead, they'll just have to accept SVG as a sacrifice.
This time they're getting run at a lot faster. They will lose the ward for that, but well worth it as they pick up a few kills there, including the kill on the Invoker. That's the big one for them. And it's not like Arteezy's having a good time either. In fact, top net worth for EG is Bulba, who, you know, they didn't really focus on shutting him down again. He is going to be doing pretty well for himself. But once again, Arteezy lost his tower not in the easiest position, and MSS off to a hot start again. We'll see what he can parlay that into this time around.
I expect Bulba with a similar game plan to Game 2, where he picks the Centaur and he just, after a successful or somewhat successful lane, he just sits mid. Protects that tower.
Ryoya's dead again.
Ryoya certainly cannot do it. He takes way too much damage, and now Bulba's going to be chased down. Small stun. MSS does have a level of Viscous Nasal Goo. Now Fly is going to be needed to protect Bulba. He's going to use the Fortune's End to be able to purge off some of this. It also managed to hit both Quinn and MSS, locking them in place. Bulba's going to be able to get away. They do have a Stampede if he wants to use it to save Fly's life, but Fly, he saved Bulba, and Bulba says, see you later, bud. He still has that extra movement speed, and Arteezy might need it here as he chases down Biver. The Icarus dive just comes back up, so this attempt at a kill will never work for Artur.
Yeah, and he's going to still chase, but he doesn't have his Earthshock, so no real gap close for him quite yet. And he's getting harassed out pretty easily. He's got to be careful. Dipping a little bit low. Does have the Enrage, but the Bristleback instead will be the target. They do have
Tornado Stomp. Okay, Stampede. That gets him close enough to be able to land the Stomp, and they double edge to make sure the Bristleback does die. But trading offlaner for offlaner doesn't feel the greatest for EG.
Yeah, especially because Bulba died first, so he doesn't get any sort of experience for that, and he is the highest net worth on his team.
Yeah. And also, Arteezy joined that fight, as did Ryoya. Yawar, he's playing a timeout here, just focusing on farming. Arteezy does manage to find a secondary kill here on SVG after he dodges that Ink Swell.
And we saw his Ursa earlier. It just gets aggressive on the map. They just want to fight, fight, fight. But the Wraith King is, kind of ignoring all of this. He's going to hit a pretty decent Radiance timing if he doesn't die anytime soon.
Tornado MP, so hard to land that combination with Dissimulate being such a free, get out of jail free card. Guess the implication, it should always be free. 7-5. 2,000 net worth lead, and Quincy Crew, they're going to smoke up with Quinn and leave Bristleback into the mid lane, so he can get a bit of farm to complete whatever team fight item he's going. Looks like it's Guardian Greaves. And they can try and invade the jungle. Now, Crit, they don't want to run into him. He's super mobile, and he's not that important. What they really want is Arteezy, and Biver has already had him scouted. Arteezy just stacked up that easy camp, so he's going to go back to it. And Quincy Crew, they should know. Quinn's going to jump forward. Leading off, Aether Remnant is going to be able to catch Arteezy, but he managed to get off the Enrage, slowing down that stun. And it looks like the Supernova is going to be way off the mark. Arteezy's going to be able to escape the gank. Drop down, Tornado into an arrow. MSS facing the wrong direction too, but enough backup from the rest of Quincy Crew. It shouldn't really matter. Arteezy, he stumbled into a dangerous position, and the jump forward from Quinn catches him as he tries to stampede out of there. Fly's going to be caught by a beautifully placed Aether Remnant by Quinn.
What do you think the plan there was for Arteezy?
No idea. I mean, he saw many heroes try and gank him. He had to have known that Quincy Crew was there in force.
And once again, the last pick, Invoker, not really working for EG.
No, it's not.
He has no farm. He's getting outpaced pretty hard by the Void Spirit, who is second in net worth. He's had himself a very free time, and it's just not really slowing down the pace or even picking up the pace. Not really doing anything for the pace. Just kind of running around towards the mid lane.
There is no pace.
There's no pace. They're just kind of getting ran at, and it's a 4K gold lead already.
Yeah. And we almost have a relic, so that's about to pick up even faster if we get that big farming item for Yawar. And this is not the same kind of lineup as that Naga Siren against Wraith King, right? This is a lineup that will get outscaled quite heavily by a Wraith King. Am I wrong in saying that?
I don't think you're wrong in saying that, no.
Jump forward in mid lane. Aether Remnant's going to miss. Ryoya goes the other direction. Nice dodge, but he's not going to be able to get away from this Inkswell. There's just not enough mobility in the world to get you away from that deadly combination of Void Spirit plus Grimstroke. Now Phoenix, he's going to be caught by Arteezy. Arteezy looking for that kill. Enraged to take off some of that Aether Remnant stun to slow down anyway, but now he's going to be kited out.
The double goo!
Oh yeah, the double goo with the Soul Bind is going to slow both of them down. Here comes that Ink Stroke stun. He will manage to get it onto Bulba, slowing him down just a bit more and stacking up the goos. But into the backline fly, somehow he ended up behind everybody else.
Look at
and
MSS
quickly
go.
gets brought down by Biver. MSS now just bullying the hell out of Evil Geniuses. He says, this Bristleback hero, way better than a Legion commander. I am feeling it right now. I've got a pipe. I can take any kind of damage they throw at me. As he marches forward once again, Quinn, he's going to try and jump onto Roya. They do manage to get a small stun, follow up the Aether Remnant as well as the Goo. That's enough to be able to get the kill. Supernova on out. Crit tries to turn, go for the egg. He needs 2 more shots and he's not going to get it in time. He's going to get stunned up and the rest of the team is going to be separated from Arteezy, who now has to turn and go for the hopeful kill in Biver. He just needs 1 swipe. He knows he's dead. He just wants something to go. But it's not there. He can't even get that crispy chicken down. Now it's going to be Sunrise into Bulba. Aether Remnant pull back in. They ignore Centaur for a moment. Deal with Fly first because they know he has his ultimate, so they can turn back into Bulba in peace. And he'll rest in pieces alongside Crits, Evil Geniuses. That was a wipe.
This last pick Invoker is really not pulling out for them right now. And this Void Spirit is just getting in there. These combos that they're laying out, they can't kill anybody. EG just doesn't have damage for anyone. Not for the 4 Phoenix, not for this 5 Grimstroke. They can't really get on top of anybody.
What?
They have damage issues, initiation issues. They just have issues.
I mean, EG was doing this exact same thing to Quincy Crew earlier. What is it about these two teams that they just, like, stomp back and forth? There seems to be, as soon as a team gets an advantage, they just roll over the other one repeatedly.
I think this game especially is a draft-related issue. The fact that they don't really need this Wraith King and Yawar is able to just farm during this time lends itself.
Go back to it. You could see that tornado. It dispels off, but it also makes the Inkswell stun right away. The Supernova really well placed. It was confidently placed on the front lines, knowing that EG could not turn around, especially with Arteezy a distance away.
Yeah, and you see him all in to try to get that kill, but he's just getting kited. And Bristle, yeah, just not really getting countered. Oracle plus Ursa versus the Phoenix Bristleback doesn't really feel like they were able to do too much, even though they did get first blood. MSS had the freest time. And this time around, he was able to really play out his hero. Wasn't really forced into any sort of moves that he didn't want to make. Easy game for him so far.
MSS will get the last hit on the Tier 2 tower. They're all setting up on Biver right now with this Moonlight Shadow. But Biver, not only does he have Icarus Dive, he also has Force Staff and Supernova ready to go. He is not the easiest support to kill. And knowing that, especially how safe he was around that Tier 2, they give up. I'm going to focus on farming for now, but if they do that on that side of the map as well, Quincy Crew will take full advantage of it. They've got a Bristleback and a Wraith King. They've got the sustain, they've got the minus armor. They can do Roshan at any time. EG knows it though. The arrow's going to come in, doesn't actually land on anything, but the initiation was found onto Roya. He's going to be protected, but now the Soul Bind, that's not going to stop it. The false promise may have saved Roya, but he's still going to be chased by MSS.
MSS doesn't care. Look at this. He's going to zone out all 3 heroes. Bulba doesn't have Stampede now, and Ryoyo is doing his best to try to do something here as Arteezy is in no man's land.
Once again, he is completely isolated from his team, and Quincy Crew just doubled down on him. Meanwhile, MSS, he was sitting there looking at, he probably wasn't, he clicked on his hero. He was clicked on Roya. He was looking at that Spirit Vessel recipe in his backpack, and he was just laughing his ass off. He's like, this is the freest game. I can do whatever I want.
He would be entirely correct here. There's no way for them to threaten him. He's got pipe, 20 stick charges that he doesn't need to use. Once in a while, he eats a tango just as an act of dominance, I guess. They're going to give the Aegis to the Wraith King, who now has 3 lives.
Every single time
Bulba's
they go on
again.
somebody, they lose like less than a third of their HP.
Yeah.
As seen from Quinn here, who's going to quickly heal up with the Sun
Bulba
Ray
just
that
stops
doubles
moving.
his damage onto Bulba. Well, at least if EG does kill anybody, there's some hefty killing sprees to be caught. dominating streak on Biver.
Hey, Biver's 7-1-7 right now. He's been in 14 of his team's 18 kills. It's been a very good Phoenix game for him as Ryoya gets TP canceled, and they're actually going to guess wrong. They've got no detection for him, it looks like.
Well, that's a little bit foolish, but back over to mid lane. Yawar being chased. Dude, he's got Aegis and Reincarnation. I can't imagine that any fight going on the Wraith King is a good one, especially with MSS in town. And Aether Remnant catches Bulba right as he goes for the Stampede, so he just gets pulled back into his own doom. He's going to be saved by Fly. Good use of the False Promise, but eventually he's going to be burned out by the Radiance if they could see him. Fortunately, the Moonlight Shadow is currently protecting them, and all of a sudden, Arteezy is once again left completely by himself, isolated from his team, because they're all trying to play in the base right now, and Arteezy is playing closer to the Radiant base.
Yeah, it always feels like, especially in this game, he's
That's
trying to
it.
make something happen. Yeah, they're not going to waste any more time. They are already up 2 games, so I think this one was, they kind of realized they can never get into a straight-out 5-on-5 fight. And once again, the last pick Invoker not really working out for EG. I think they wanted a Spirit Vessel carrier